What if Robert's rebellion didn't kill the last Targaryen prince? What if the greatest lie in Westeros' history was the one everyone believed? 17 years ago, Robert's rebellion ended the rule of House Targaryen. King Aerys II, the Mad King, was slain by Jaime Lannister. His son and heir, Prince Rhaegar, was killed by Robert Baratheon at the Battle of the Trident. And when Tywin Lannister's forces sacked King's Landing, Sir Gregor Clegane, the Mountain, murdered Rhaegar's wife, Elia Martell, and their 2 young children. Among those children was Aegon Targaryen, the baby prince meant to inherit the Iron Throne. But what if the child killed that day wasn't really him? Varys, the Master of Whispers, was never a warrior, but he fought his battles in the shadows. Before the sack of the city, he arranged a secret switch, exchanging the real Aegon with a lowborn infant. The Mountain unknowingly killed the wrong child, while the true Aegon was smuggled across the narrow sea. For years, Daenerys Targaryen and her brother Viserys believed that they were the only surviving Targaryens. But in reality, another heir, Daenerys' nephew, was being raised in exile. Instead of living as a fugitive, Aegon was raised as a future king. Jon Connington, Rhaegar's closest friend and former hand of the king, took him in and trained him in strategy, politics, and combat. He was given a new identity, Young Griff, to keep him hidden until the right moment. That moment has come. Aegon is no longer a boy in hiding. He has the support of the Golden Company, the most disciplined army of mercenaries in the world. And now he is ready to take back Westeros. In the show, Daenerys is the last hope of House Targaryen, the sole heir to a lost dynasty. But in the books, she is not alone. Another dragon rises before her. What if Rhaegar's son had lived? What if the Iron Throne had another rightful heir? The fall of House Targaryen was swift, brutal, and absolute, or so history claims. But what if the greatest lie of Robert's rebellion was told in its final hours? For years, the story remained unquestioned. The last son of Rhaegar was dead. Robert Baratheon's throne was secure. House Targaryen was nothing more than whispers across the narrow sea. But war is chaos. And in the chaos of conquest, shadows move unseen. And in those shadows, a different tale was written. Varys, the Master of Whispers, has never been a warrior. He does not fight with swords, nor does he rule with armies. He fights with secrets. And on the night of King's Landing's fall, he played his most dangerous game. According to Varys, the child that Gregor Clegane killed was not Aegon Targaryen VI, but a lowborn infant, swapped in the dead of night, just before the city fell. While the fires of war raged above, the true Aegon was smuggled out of the Red Keep, carried into the depths of the city's hidden tunnels, and placed in the hands of agents loyal to Illyrio Mopatis, the powerful merchant lord of Pentos, a character we saw arranging the wedding between Daenerys and Drogo in the series. For years, the world believed Rhaegar's son was gone. But in the Free Cities, far from the eyes of Westeros, he was growing into a king. But a king is not born. He is forged. But what of the man who shapes him? His name is Young Griff, but in truth, he is Aegon Targaryen, sixth of his name, and the man who has shaped him, who has spent his life preparing him for the throne, is Jon Connington. But before he was a teacher, before he was in exile, Jon Connington was a lord, a hand of the king, a man who once stood beside Rhaegar Targaryen and lost everything for him. Before we get into what happened to Jon Connington, like and subscribe. Born into the noble House Connington, Jon was heir to Griffin's Roost, an ancient stronghold in the Stormlands. But his destiny was not to rule his house. It was to stand beside Rhaegar Targaryen, the last dragon of his age. From their youth, the two men were inseparable. Where Rhaegar rode, Jon followed. Where Rhaegar fought, Jon fought beside him. Some whispered that his loyalty ran deeper than honor, that it was not just duty that bound him to the prince, but love. It did not matter. What mattered was that Jon Connington believed in Rhaegar, in his rule, in his dream of a better Westeros. And when war came, he was willing to die for it. Rhaegar Targaryen was the crown prince, the man many believed would be a better ruler than his father, the Mad King. He was loved by the people, admired by lords, and destined to inherit the throne. And yet, when the realm needed him most, he vanished. Some say he abandoned his duty. Others claim he was chasing something far greater than a crown. Rhaegar did not ride to war. He rode to the Tower of Joy, taking Lyanna Stark with him, setting in motion the events that would lead to Robert's rebellion. Whether it was love, prophecy, or something more, his actions shattered the realm. As war erupted across Westeros, as armies clashed and kingdoms fell, the man who should have led House Targaryen to victory was absent. And so the task of saving his kingdom fell to others. Jon Connington was given command, named Hand of the King after Tywin Lannister's departure. His task was simple: stop Robert Baratheon before the rebellion could spread. His chance came at Stony Sept. Robert, wounded from battle, had taken shelter in the town, hiding among the villagers. Connington surrounded the city, determined to drag the rebel lord from his hole and end the war with a single stroke. For days, his men searched the homes, turned over every brick, pried open every door. Frustration turned to fury. If the people of Stony Sept would not give up Robert, then they would burn with him. But before the flames could take hold, before Robert could be found, the banners of House Stark, House Arryn, and House Tully appeared on the horizon. Eddard Stark, Jon Arryn, and Hoster Tully had come with reinforcements, smashing into Connington's forces, trapping him between the town and the advancing army. The battle was swift, brutal, and when the smoke cleared, Robert Baratheon was gone. A second chance would not come. Robert gathered his forces. Rhaegar returned from the south. And the war ended not with a siege, but with a hammer blow to the prince's chest. In King's Landing, the Mad King was furious. There were no second chances under Aerys II. No mercy. Jon Connington had not only lost Robert, he had allowed the rebellion to spread. For his failure, he was stripped of his titles, his lands, and his name. The halls of Griffin's Roost, the home of his ancestors, were given to another. His house, once proud, was cast down, and Jon Connington, once a noble lord, became nothing. He was exiled across the narrow sea, left to wander the free cities, a man with no home, no purpose, no future. He should have disappeared. He should have drowned in drink, wasting away in the shadows of Essos like so many fallen lords before him. But Connington did not die. He did not forget. He waited. In exile, he finds a new purpose: the Golden Company, the greatest sellsword army in the world. Founded by the Blackfyres, bastard Targaryens who once fought for the Iron Throne and lost, the Golden Company is built for men like him. They are warriors without a country, sons without fathers, lords without thrones. And for generations, they have followed one unbreakable oath: beneath the gold, the bitter steel. For decades, they have fought for a Blackfire, but now, after a century in exile, they will fight for a true Targaryen. And then, one day, Varys and Illyrio Mopatis come to him with a secret. A child. A boy with silver hair and violet eyes. A boy they claim is Aegon Targaryen VI. The last son of Rhaegar, the heir to the Iron Throne, the prince who supposedly dies in the Sack of King's Landing. It should be impossible. It should be a lie. And yet, Jon Connington does not question it. He does not ask. He does not doubt. He takes the boy as his own. He names him Young Griff. And from that moment on, he raises him not as a bastard, not as a prince, but as a king. Aegon is not allowed to be weak. Connington sees to that. Every day is a lesson. Every failure is punished. There are no second chances, no room for weakness. He will not let this boy die as Rhaegar did. Swordplay, strategy, history, politics, diplomacy, High Valyrian, the tongue of kings, the language of power. Aegon is taught that he is the last hope of House Targaryen, that he is born to rule, that he will not ask for his throne, he will take it. But Connington is no longer the warrior he once was. Time has carved its mark upon him, and death has already begun to whisper in his ear. But he will not die in exile. He will not fade into history as the man who failed Rhaegar. He will see his son crowned first. Aegon's fate is shaped long before he ever sets foot in Westeros, but it is not sealed. Another exile, another fallen son, enters the game. One who has seen the rise and fall of kings up close. Tyrion Lannister. Once, Tyrion held power. He was Hand of the King, Master of Coin, the manipulator behind the throne. But that was before the trial, before the betrayal, before the crossbow bolt that ended his father's life. Fleeing the city where he once ruled, he is carried across the narrow sea, smuggled out of Westeros by Varys. But Varys does not save him out of kindness. He has a purpose for Tyrion Lannister, a new piece to place on the board. In Pentos, Tyrion finds no exile's solace. He finds a prince. At first, he dismisses it as a fantasy, a tale spun by Varys and Illyrio to justify their endless intrigues. The boy before him, called Young Griff, is barely more than a child. His hair dyed blue to conceal his true lineage, his name whispered only in secret. But as Tyrion watches him, as he listens, doubt creeps into his mind. If this is a deception, it is a masterful one. The boy is intelligent, educated, fluent in High Valyrian, skilled with a blade. He speaks not as a mere exile, but as one who expects to rule. And so, Tyrion plays the game as he always has. He studies, observes, listens, and slowly he begins to wonder, what if this is no fraud? What if the game is not about creating a king, but restoring one? Varys is not a man ruled by sentiment. He does not gamble on lost causes. If Aegon is truly saved, why keep him hidden for so long? Why reveal him now? Is Young Griff truly Rhaegar's son, or just another pawn, an orphan raised in a lie, a pretender shaped to fit a prophecy? The Golden Company follows because of an oath made generations ago. Illyrio Mopatis supports him because of the promises he has made in the dark. But no amount of gold, no army, no secret can change one fundamental truth. Westeros does not know this boy. The realm has forgotten Rhaegar's son. A child saved from the flames, a secret woven through decades of lies. And now, after years of waiting, The boy is ready to claim his birthright. But Westeros has not been waiting for him. The realm has already chosen its sides. The Lions of Lannister hold King's Landing. The flayed men of Bolton rules the north, while the scattered wolves of Stark fight to survive. And across the sea, another Targaryen queen gathers her armies, her dragons, her fury. Varys and Illyrio had a vision. Aegon would travel east, seek out Daenerys, and return with her dragons. But Tyrion sees the flaw immediately. Daenerys has already crowned herself queen in Meereen. She has built an empire from fire and blood, commanded armies and freed slaves. She does not wait for a savior, she is one. She will not bow to Aegon nor follow him. If she even believes his claim, she will demand loyalty, not offer it. And so Tyrion tells Aegon the truth. Kings do not beg, they take. Aegon listens. He is no fool. He has spent his life preparing for this moment, but he is no longer a child to be led by others. The decision is his. He will not seek Daenerys. He will strike now. Jon Connington hesitates. This is not the plan. But time is against him. If Aegon is to prove himself, the moment is now. The ships of the Golden Company set sail. Banners rise, and for the first time in 17 years, a Targaryen prince sets foot on Westerosi soil, not as a fugitive, not as a claimant, but as a conqueror. Before marching on Storm's End, Aegon must first secure a foothold in Westeros. Griffin's Roost falls quickly, taken in a single night. Connington's ancestral home reclaimed after years in exile. It is a symbolic victory, but more importantly, a strategic one. From here, the Golden Company prepares for its true prize. Storm's End is the first major target. Aegon's war has begun. But will Westeros see him as its savior or its next usurper? Tell us what you think would have happened in the comments below. The Golden Company moves with purpose. An army of exiles, knights without a country, men who have fought for centuries without a cause of their own. But today, they do not fight for coin. They fight for a throne. And leading them is a prince who has never known defeat. Storm's End is no ordinary castle. It is a fortress built for siege. Its walls thick enough to withstand cannon fire. Its foundations unshaken by centuries of war. It has survived dragon fire, starvation, and the fury of the storm gods themselves. But Aegon does not come with dragons. He does not come with fire. He comes with strategy. Stannis Baratheon is gone, his army shattered, his fate unknown. The garrison left behind is small, loyal to King Tommen, but leaderless, outnumbered, and unprepared for what is coming. Aegon's forces move swiftly, striking before the Lannisters even realize he has landed. The Golden Company, trained for war, advances in disciplined formations. Siege towers roll forward, ballistae are positioned, but brute force is not Aegon's only weapon. War is not always won by swords. It is won by loyalty, by doubt, by fear. Before the first battering ram can strike, ravens fly over the walls. Letters bearing the Targaryen sigil, carrying a simple message. House Baratheon was forged in rebellion, but do the Stormlands still have a cause to fight for? Aegon's claim is not just to the throne. It is to his father's legacy, to the lords who once followed Rhaegar, who bled for him, who swore to House Targaryen before Robert's War turned them against their king. Inside Storm's End, uncertainty spreads. The garrison's loyalty is to Tommen. But who is Tommen without his mother? Without his gold? without the strength to defend them if they hold out and fail. If the garrison resists, they will die. If they surrender, they may yet bend the knee to a true king. And so, the gates open before the walls are ever breached, not out of cowardice, not out of fear, but because they see the truth. Aegon is here, and he is winning. The dragon banner flies from the battlements of Storm's End. The first stronghold of Aegon's war is his, and for the first time since Robert's rebellion, the Stormlands belong to the blood of the dragon. But war does not move in silence. In King's Landing, the news spreads like wildfire. A new claimant, a new Targaryen, one who does not ride dragons but marches with an army. Cersei Lannister, ruling in Tommen's name, cannot afford to ignore him. The lords of the Stormlands may rally to Aegon's cause. If they do, the war will spread, and the Lannisters will need more than gold to stop it. Across the realm, lords take counsel. Some remember their oaths to House Targaryen. Others see an opportunity in the chaos. The Reach, the Riverlands, Dorne, all have their own ambitions, their own grudges, and soon they will be forced to choose. Aegon has made his move, but the Game of Thrones is far from over. The pieces are shifting, the players positioning themselves for the next strike. The question is no longer if Aegon will fight for the Iron Throne. The question is, who will try to stop him? A war is coming, a war between dragons, lions, and wolves. And in Westeros, war is never fought without fire and blood. What do you think would have happened? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this alternate history, like, comment, and subscribe for more what-if scenarios from the world of Westeros. Stay tuned for part 2.